In this training module, you will be learning to operate the Rotom commuter car, manufactured by Hyundai Rotom. During this brief introduction, you will be taken through the critical driving controls and performing passenger operations. When you're ready to begin, climb aboard. Sit in the engineer's seat. You'll now go through the steps needed to take over this train. You will need to set the generator field switch. This needs to be enabled for the locomotive to generate power. Switch the front headlights on. Regardless of the time of day or weather, all locomotives must have their headlights on. You'll need to set the automatic brake cutout to cut in to allow the braking to be controlled from this cab. Okay, it's time to depart. Close the passenger doors. The master controller controls both the throttle and dynamic brakes. Dynamic brakes use the locomotive's electric traction motors to generate resistance, to reduce the wear of the brake pads. The automatic brakes are controlled with their own handle, but will blend the dynamic brakes and air brakes. The air brakes will apply braking force to every car in this formation. Now, release the brakes. Coasting is a method used to keeping to speed limits is important. If you begin overspeeding, slow the train using the master controller's dynamic brake range. The Rotom commuter cars were introduced in 2010. To date, Metrolink has received 117 of them. As part of Metrolink's commitment to passenger safety, these cars incorporate the latest CEM technology. This incorporates redesigned seats, tables, and special energy-absorbing zones at the end of each car. Metrolink was the first rail operator in the US to incorporate CEM in passenger trains. Cab cars like this one allow a locomotive to be operated remotely from the other end of the formation, preventing the need for runarounds or additional locomotives. You are approaching the station. Begin applying a small amount of braking force using the automatic brake to bring the train to a gentle stop. Nice job! The train has safely come to a stop. You can now begin loading. Good work. That concludes all the basics of operating this train.
In this introduction, you'll be learning to drive this Siemens Vectron locomotive. During this introduction, you'll be covering the critical driving controls and freight operations. When you're ready, climb aboard. Sit in the driver's seat. Use the master key to activate the control desk. Set the headlights to indicate that this locomotive is operational. Headlights must be used regardless of the time of day or weather. The direction of travel in a Vectron locomotive is determined by the Now we can release the brakes and get ready to move. Move the throttle into the power range. Coasting is a method used to efficiently maintain speed and reduce motor stress and maintenance requirements. Come to a stop using the brake. The freight wagons are behind us. Change direction with the reverser, then change the junction indicated either by walking over to it or using the map. The junction is correctly aligned. You can now couple up to the freight. Approach slowly and stop just before the buffers. This locomotive uses manual hook couplers which will need to be connected. You can couple and uncouple from either an external camera or on foot. Let's connect the formation using the external camera. Nice work. Change direction with the reverser and move the train forward to the indicated siding. You can couple and uncouple from either an external camera or on foot. Uncouple from the wagons on foot this time. Stand up and head outside. Nice work. That concludes the basics of operating this locomotive.
In this training module, you will be taken through the operation of a BR-185.2 electric locomotive. During this brief introduction, you will cover the critical driving controls and freight operations. When you're ready, climb aboard to get started. Take a seat in the driver's position. This is where you will... For this introduction, you will be driving the locomotive a short distance and coupling to a short freight train. To activate the control desk, set the reverser. Set the headlights to let others around us know this locomotive is operational. The locomotive is now ready to go. Coasting is a method used to efficiently maintain. Keeping to speed limits is important. If you begin overspeeding, apply a small amount of braking force using the train brake. This train is part of the Bombardier Trax family, a modular platform of diesel and electric locomotives that come in both passenger and freight variations. More than 1,800 locomotives of this family have been sold throughout Europe and are now in use in 17 different countries. The BR-185.2, part of the Trax 2 family, is known for the noticeable scale it plays when accelerating from 0 to 16 kilometers per hour. This locomotive can produce 5,600 kilowatts and has a maximum operational speed of 140 kilometers per hour. The freight wagons are behind you. Change direction with the reverser, then change the junction indicated, either by walking over to it or using the map. The junction is correctly aligned, and you can now couple up to the freight. Come to a stop once your locomotive gently touches the wagons. You can couple and uncouple from either an external camera or on foot. Let's connect the formation using the external camera. Nice work! Change direction with the reverser and move the train forward into the indicated siding. You can couple and uncouple from either an external camera or on foot. Uncouple from the wagons on foot this time. That's it for this introduction. Well done! In this training module, you'll be learning how to drive this ÖBB 4024 electric multiple unit. For this introduction, you will be driving the train a short distance and performing passenger operations. The ÖBB 4024, also known as the Talent, is manufactured by Bombardier and entered service in 2004. The name Talent is an acronym in German for Talbot Leichter Nahverkehrstriebwagen, meaning Talbot Light Suburban Railcar. The ÖBB 4024 is a 4-car unit with a top speed of 140 km per hour. Now set the reverser to forward. This controls the direct. Set the headlights to indicate that this train is operational. Insert the train brake handle. First, release the brakes applied by the train brake handle. Open the passenger doors to allow boarding. The ÖBB 4024 is part of Bombardier's Talent series of multiple units, manufactured by Bombardier Talbot. More than 300 Talent series vehicles have been produced and have seen use in more than 7 different countries. Close the doors before departure. To release the brakes and apply power, push the handle away from you. Now you've built up some speed. Coasting is a method used to efficiently maintain speed and reduce motor stress and maintenance requirements. Keeping to speed limits is important. If you begin overspeeding, apply a small amount of braking force by moving the master controller into the braking range. You're now approaching the station. Begin applying a small amount of braking force by moving the master controller into the braking range. Nice job. The train has safely come to a stop. Close the doors and drive to the next station unguided. Good work. That concludes all of the basics for operating this train.